Alex Jones, the conspiracy theorist, has been ordered to pay $965 million.
$965 million.
$965 million. Obviously, this verdict is designed to bankrupt him permanently. Will it?
So the internet's most infamous conspiracy theorist has just released a game.
I will eat my neighbors.
Alex Jones' New World Order Wars is a retro-themed side-scrolling shooter in the style of the classics like Metal Slug or Contra, and it's exactly the sort of game you'd expect a man of Jones' stature to bankroll. A brief, barely functioning game full of weird niche references that only people of his brand of politics would understand. But listen, I'm not a political channel. I won't preach any libtard ideals to you like it's probably bad to harass victims of school shootings.
I think Heslin acts like somebody on the spectrum.
Heslin is Neil Heslin, the father of a 6-year-old boy murdered at Sandy Hook 10 years ago.
And don't sell toothpaste with silver in it and say it cures coronavirus.
The patented nano silver we have, the Pentagon has come out and documented, and Homeland Security, and said this stuff kills the whole SARS corona family.
No, I'm only here to talk about the most historically unpolitical thing ever, video games.
Fucking pronouns!
And New World Order Wars is technically one of those. Listen, I really did want to give this game a fair shake, and if it was genuinely good, let the audience know. But thankfully, I don't have to because this game is an absolute trash fire. On its surface, New World Order Wars looks and plays like a pretty standard side-scrolling shooter, but with none of those bells and whistles we'd expect nowadays for a title like this. No special time abilities or movement gimmicks, just walk right and shoot. This isn't inherently an issue, it's a solid core concept in theory, but even this basic formula barely works in New World Order Wars. Let's discuss the combat.
No, come on, you're not an intellectual, you're a fake and a fraud.
Alex starts off with a pistol and knife, which are both bound to the same key, and Alex will attack with either one depending on the distance of the enemy. Contextual attacks, fancy. Other than these starting weapons, there are two upgrade weapons, the minigun and the flamethrower. Which brings us to the first glaring issue of this game, screen shake. Holy shit, the screen shake. This is first noticeable when you rapid fire your pistol, but the moment you get the minigun, this game becomes near unplayable. Like, look at this shit. How this got past development, I have no idea. I can only imagine the developer coded this during an active earthquake or perhaps a flight that was experiencing the longest recorded period of turbulence because Jesus Christ, this screen shake is just nuts. Immediately when I picked up the minigun, I thought, oh, okay, let me just go turn off the screen shake here in the menu. Right, this is the Alex Jones video game. Of fucking course I can't turn off screen shake. Which, yeah, there's pretty much no settings except for volume and resolution, so sorry if you expected ray tracing or DLSS. Screen shake aside, at least the shooting works, like a bullet does come out of your gun and damage the enemies. At least they got the bare minimum there for combat. But speaking of the enemies, they are a different story. If you were to watch gameplay, you probably wouldn't notice anything out of the ordinary with them. Well, out of the ordinary for an Alex Jones video game. But you'll realize fairly quickly if you play the game that a large chunk of the enemies can't hurt you. Literally incapable of inflicting damage. Perhaps this is a deep philosophical statement on Jones' politics and that his common scapegoats are not the monsters he makes them out to be. Not only will they not hurt him, they aren't systemically capable of it. Or maybe it's just bad game design because god damn dude, can't damage you, can't damage you, can't damage you. If I had to guess, it's because enemies never got a collision box assigned to them, which would make sense because I'm not sure any enemies in the game can damage you at all by contact. You can just walk through them. The only sources of damage are some of the projectiles. Yeah, not even all the projectiles deal damage. There's also these enemy spawners, but they don't do that. Yeah, they don't spawn enemies, they fire them. They fire them at Mach 3 speed off of the screen just to never be seen again. And I'm not cherry picking here, this isn't like a glitch that occurs sometimes. I've genuinely never seen a normal enemy spawn from one of these. But ignoring all of this, let's say hypothetically that the enemies worked. Let's say they actually did damage. It wouldn't matter because of the level design. Most of the enemies are placed in areas that won't ever hit you, like these guys. The enemies in this game are more like targets. They exist to be shot at and not to shoot back. Honestly, I'm not sure any normal person could lose in this game. You're given 9 lives, confirming that Alex is canonically a Catboy.
This is not a joke. I'm a cat.
But they also refresh on each level and you can find them as drops from enemies, so you feel pretty damn immortal throughout the entire game. Now, I've got to be honest, the visual polish in this game is not that bad, but thematically this game is still all over the place. For what is supposed to be this political parody game, you'd expect some more consistently focused levels and inspired enemies, but let's go over them. Level 1 is Fauci's Science Lab. That's right, former chief medical advisor of the president, Mr. Vaccine Guy himself, Fauci. And of course, his area is teeming with scientists who have these comically large needles that they want to inject you with, I don't know, satanic microchip autistic estrogen vaccines?
Thank you, Satan, for all your love.
Yeah, these guys are on brand. We're also introduced to the infamous gay frog, which, as the gays say, is absolutely slaying. The only other enemy here are these flamer dudes who I don't think have any Alex Jones lore connection, but they feel vaguely science labby, so I give them a pass. Our first boss of the level is the Virgin Billionaire. And okay, so I'll give credit where credit's due. This boss is clever. For those of you who don't know, Alex Jones and many right-wing people don't like Bill Gates.
Bill Gates up there with that little chicken neck.
Making him attack with money and pop out of 4 windows like the Microsoft Windows, that shit's rock solid conceptually for a parody boss. The final boss of the labs is Fauci himself. Well, Dr. Fuker, who is some EGAD-looking MFer piloting a giant hermit crab mech. Thematically, I'm not really sure what's going on here, what giant hermit crabs have to do with vaccines or Fauci, but it's at least sort of a cool design. This guy gets a pass too, I guess. Level 2 is San Francisco. Taking the low-hanging fruit, the enemies introduced are all just homeless people. Well, according to Joe Rogan, who is a centaur, I guess, they are homeless zombies.
These homeless zombies are disgusting.
Not really an original concept here, but sure.
I don't have any more change!
Then halfway through the level, instead of a boss, we get a trash compactor turret cannon thing? I don't really know, it's not super strong and its projectiles are very slow. But the final boss is Mark Zuckerberg as this big lizard monster with a literal banhammer. And yeah, it's super on the nose, but the sprite work is good and the design goes pretty hard. Remember though kids, don't flip your sprites if they have text on them, or maybe these guys were just really pro Adam. Alright, level 3, Epstein Island. The giant mountain with Epstein's smug face on it? Excellent, no notes. The enemies on Epstein Island though. Thematically, they have nothing to do with Epstein, kidnapped children, or really anything that Alex Jones harps on. We get generic skeletons, gay bats, regular ass piranha plants. This is where I really started to feel suspicion that this game was probably made by someone that already had a side-scrolling shooter test project lying around, because like, none of this really fits the game or its theme. And some of these sprites are pretty nice. Like, look at this giant skeleton who shoots out tiny brain skulls. This isn't like groundbreaking, but I could see this as some sort of Terraria mod boss or something. But no way this fucker was made just for the Alex Jones video game. That is, unless there's some more Jones schizo lore that I'm missing. The bosses of Epstein Island are Bill and Hillary Clinton. Their fights are fine. Bill for some reason shoots out moons from Majora's Mask. Hillary Clinton is a witch. Super original. To be honest, with how fucking random the enemies were, I was expecting like a sized up piranha planet as the boss here. Maybe with a shirt slapped on that says I heart kids or something. I don't know. Honestly though, that would be more inventive than what we got. Oh, and Trump shows up in his Superman outfit and is wholly unnecessary and makes this easy ass game even easier. Level 4, it's just Canada. You're in a car, Tucker Carlson shows up, my bad, Trucker Carlson, which is probably the cleverest joke in the game. You defeat some CNN balloons and Justin Trudeau, blow up some red helicopters. I don't know, this game is a fucking fever dream. Level 5. Level 5 is just a castle. I think it's supposed to be in Sweden for like the World Economic Forum or something. I don't care. They just reuse all the past enemies and throw in some shit like gargoyles, which once again, absolutely no way these were made for this game. The bosses are George Soros, which is named this, holy shit, then a giant octopus, we're not going to touch the meaning behind that one, and then the final boss, which is the all-powerful globalist. I don't even know who this guy is. He's probably some European dude who wants to stop climate change or world hunger or something. I don't know, I just don't give a shit. None of their mechanics are amazing, none of them really put up much of a challenge, no interesting mechanics, no normal person would ever recognize any of these people. I really don't know what I expected, but sure, this game isn't meant for me. It's meant for your average Alex Jones fan, but If that's the case, you'd only buy this game because you'd expect it to be super funny and meta to own the libs, but man, the dialogue in this game sucks. The bosses all have 1 or 2 lines they repeat ad nauseum.
AI is God. AI is God.
Jones has maybe 8 or 9 for the entire game, and none of them are funny.
The moon landing was a hoax. The lottery is rigged. They're turning the friggin' frogs gay. Machine gun.
Sometimes he just steals a Reddit joke.
The elites don't want you to know this, but the ducks in the park are free. You can take them home. I have 558 ducks.
It's not even edgy, you know? Like, at least go on some schizo rant about how fucking Nestle is creating chocolates out of fetuses or something. Just none of it has any bite to it. The parodies of Trump and Joe Rogan were incredibly unfunny.
I'm here to save the poor innocent babies. Wow, these globalists are taking over, man.
The game overall just feels like it would be a parody Flash game on Jones' website, like some of that shit that PETA makes, but it's not. This is a $20 game on Steam, which for a game that barely functions is quite a lot. The game also has less than an hour of content, so this comment puts it best.
The globalists don't want you to know this, but you can complete this game in 40 minutes and the Steam refund policy is under 2 hours.
This game, it sucks. I've got nothing else to say. Jones is fucked with his $1 billion lawsuit. I really hope he paid this developer in something other than super male vitality pills and poison toothpaste. So yeah, I'd give it like a solid 1 out of 5 gay frogs. Don't buy this game. It's bad. Thanks for watching.
I thought you did computers, libtard.